It's Patrick, founder of Screenplay app, the app for student screenwriters. Every week I pose a question or comment to all you screenwriters out there and see what's inside that creative head of yours. Let's begin. This week, what I want to know is, what was the last screenplay you read in one sitting that it was so entertaining, so enjoyable, you could not put it down? Tell me what that screenplay was. And how come you couldn't put it down? What was so good about it? Remember, try to go back to it. Remember why it was so easy to just read in one sitting. Because you oftentimes hear about people reading books in one sitting. Me personally, I've never read a book in one sitting because unlike screenplays, books tend to be very, very long. The closest I've ever gotten to reading a book in one sitting is the Star Wars book, Tale of the Bounty Hunters. That book was so good because it was separate stories about each different bounty hunter. When I was done reading a story about one bounty hunter, it took me to the next bounty hunter. That was the closest I've ever gotten to reading a book in one sitting. Do people actually do that? Actually, they do. I know this one lady where she reads a lot of books and she actually has read one book in one sitting. It's tough, I admit. Screenplays are a lot easier, I would say, to read in one sitting, especially a great screenplay. If a screenplay is bad, it is so tough to sit down for 2 or so hours and read it. We watch movies in one sitting. It's very rare where we're watching a movie and we get up, turn it off, and come back again and finish it. Yeah, we do that when we're at home. However, when we're in the theaters, we usually watch a movie in one sitting. When we're at home, if a movie is so good, we tend to watch it in one sitting, especially if it's a film we haven't seen before. I'm curious, what was the last screenplay that you read in one sitting? I'm talking about no breaks, just sit and just read it. What was it about it that kept you going? I've done it before. I had this assignment where I had to read screenplays for this particular producer where they were looking for writers. I read a lot of bad screenplays. However, there were that rare moment where I would read a couple of screenplays here and there and I couldn't put it down. Those screenplays, if I could think back, what made it so engaging, why it was so easy to just read it in one sitting, is a lot of it had humor, I admit, and the pacing. I believe pacing plays a major part. Pacing is something, I don't know, it's just, pacing is something where it's hard to explain, and I don't know how you master pacing without being good at all the other things, because it's all connected. You know, your characters, your dialogue, your story, it all plays a part. Pacing is not just something that you could create by itself. Pacing is something that works in conjunction with everything else that makes a screenplay work. So that's the number one thing I can remember when I was able to finish a screenplay in one sitting, is the pacing. If you could think back of the last screenplay you read in one sitting, think about what made it so easy for you to just sit and read it without getting up or going and doing activities. If you could think about that, try to channel that into your own writing. Try to see how you could write a screenplay where it's easy for the reader to read in one sitting. If you haven't read a screenplay before in one sitting, a good one to test it out with, see if you could do it, is A Few Good Men. That screenplay, I believe, coincidentally enough, originally was a book, but the screenplay is so well written. It's written by Aaron Sorkin. It's a mystery. It has great characters. That screenplay is very good when it comes to pacing. It should be an easy read for you in one sitting. If you struggle with reading that screenplay in one sitting, then it'll be tough to read any other screenplay. We have a lot going on. We have a phone, social media, and so on. I think you should challenge yourself to find that one screenplay, if you haven't already done so, to try and read in one sitting. Find a screenplay from a movie that you love, or any of the screenplays that we've recommended, or any Academy Award nominated screenplay. Then if you were able to achieve that goal, if it wasn't too painful for you, actually if you enjoy it, I want you to enjoy it. If you did enjoy it, then I want you to come back and tell me, why was this so easy for you to just read in one sitting, and try to channel that in your next screenplay that you write. The biggest compliment that a reader could give you is if they read your screenplay in one sitting. That is our question for this week. Now let's see answers in the comments below. If you're thinking about writing your first screenplay, go to your favorite app store, download Screenplay app today. The link is in the description below. Remember to always have fun writing. Fade out.